your prices are outrageous.
Yeah. 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 So. This is Cy. He is a 1.5-year-old Australian Shepherd. She came to me because he has nipped a couple people and she has no idea how he is with dogs. I left that first part in here because he lunged and barked at me, and that is what he does to people. The camera didn't really get it because it happened so fast, but you heard it, you saw it. So I don't want to be right near this guy. We're going to let him in a minute. Oh, and then we're just going to jump right to it, okay? This is already a long video. We don't want to make it too long. So this is his first meeting of Prince. I have her do it. He is on a gentle leader, which is a great product. We don't do a muzzle because it's through a fence. So she gives him some reinforcement for being with Prince. This is our first meeting of a dog. He really hasn't met that many dogs, but first meeting on my property. We're going to go pretty quick in this video. I'm going to go back to some original audio because I want you to hear what I said to her. A lot of people come to me for situations like this. This dog is not terribly aggressive. We had a lunge at me at the beginning, but he's just not. We don't exactly know what's going on, but we've got to figure it out. Now we put him in a muzzle, we let Prince out. So Prince is doing lookaways. This is kind of, unfortunately, a byproduct of the muzzle. So both my dogs, Prince and Bosco, looks good with Prince, right? Looks a little unfamiliar with dogs. That's how dogs who aren't that well socialized meet dogs. They're just kind of unsure. But both Bosco and Prince get tripped out by the muzzle because they classically, conditioning-wise, associate muzzles with aggression. So as Prince comes out, even if the dog looks good, he's like, oh, the dog's in a muzzle. I better be careful of this guy. And it is a problem because I go off of what my dog's, how he looks and how he avoids or how he runs up to or how he barks at another dog. And the muzzle kind of messes things up. I can't read my dog perfectly when that happens. But you guys have a lot of dogs like this. How does he look? That was the second worst thing he's done. That would not have been a bite, but that was like, now he looks good, right? And Prince is showing us that was not that, probably wouldn't have been a bite. Prince knew whether that little muzzle punch would have been a bite, and Prince instantly went into a play bow, okay? Now look at Prince's tail wag. He likes this guy. He's starting to like this guy. But we did not love that little muzzle punch. That was not a great way to meet. Now, first play bow from him, and these two are now getting along great. During this video, we're going to introduce at least 3 other dogs to this guy. On muzzle and then eventually off muzzle. So this is during the whole evaluation and training process. I'm just figuring out what's going on with this dog. Are we ready to take this muzzle off? No. He had been trained a little bit with a shock collar, not much. You got to be careful when a dog was trained with a shock collar because they can be a little unpredictable. That's why I don't use them. Excuse me, the e-collar. All you e-collar people, calm down. My God, I called it the wrong name. You guys are worse than the positive reinforcement people sometimes. But anyway, so the e-collar was used. He looks great though. And in a minute, we are going to let another dog out. So a lot of you have this type of dog where you're just not sure. Nipped a couple people. The nipping could have been his breed too. He could have been like doing some weird herding thing with a nip in there. Okay. So how does he look? How does he look, guys? He looks awesome. He looks great. I'm partly not ready to take the muzzle off because I don't want him to nip me. If I start walking away, he sees the back of my legs and goes, oh, that's what I do. And I'm telling him he's a good boy. Good boy. But he looks great. We let Guapo out. Let's see what he does with Guapo. So what is your guys' analysis so far of this dog? Okay, you got to start thinking that way. If this is your dog, you got to start thinking that way. Let him ride out. He looked great with Guapo. And there was still that little weirdness, but then it's greatness, right? Then he looks so good. So good. He wants to play. So you're going to hear multiple times during this video, the original audio. There's 2 points where there's original audio. And I'm saying the same thing twice because I feel so strongly about it. I'm not going to say what I say in the original audio because I want you guys to hear it as I say it to her. And I don't want to say it a third time. But start thinking what you would tell this client? Are we going to tell her that the dog is bad with people but great with dogs? Are we going to tell her the dog is great with people with just the occasional flip out? And what are we going to tell her about what to do going forward? Because she doesn't have access to all these dogs. She wants to live a normal life, go to people's house, have the dog not nip the people, have the dog play with other dogs. So what's the diagnosis, and then what does it look like going forward? So he just met Bodhi, young dog. They have all been males. Most likely he's not going to not like females. That's not how that works. If males can get along with males, males generally get along with females. Okay, so I'm not too worried about the male-female thing. He's met 3 males doing the thing. This is what dogs do when they're under socialized. They smell weird parts of the dog's body. So smell the legs, the side of the dog. But he looks great. He looks great. We're going to take this muzzle off somewhat soon, but I want you to be thinking about what you would tell a client like this. Okay? Let me give you a hint. It's not operant. The answer is not when to punish, when to reinforce. It is not. It is a big picture answer. Okay? The answer is very big picture. And I truly believe that it is the answer. Okay? We're going to take the muzzle off at this point. First time out of a muzzle with me, first time out of a muzzle with the other dogs. These are other people's dogs, right? I got to make sure gentle ear stays off. Stays on. We should have taken that off, just because you don't want a dog to cruise around on a gentle leader for the most part, right? Because they can get it off, and there's no need for him to have it on unless they're on leash. He looks great. There is nothing except for that first little muzzle punch of Bosco or Prince, that there is nothing that makes him look anything but awesome with other dogs. Okay? That's a hint. The other dogs thing is a hint for what we're going to tell this lady is the answer to this dog. Understand, he doesn't play with a lot of other dogs. You think he enjoys playing with other dogs? I do. That's a hint. That's a hint for the answer for this client, that he enjoys playing with other dogs. All right, to the original audio. In a minute, I'm going to give you my answer, okay, to how to fix Psy. He's meeting another Aussie. Bodhi's an Aussie. He looked great. Look at him smell different parts of the dog's body. That's what unsocialized dogs do. They don't just smell the rear. They don't just smell the mouth or the ears. They smell the side of a dog. It's like a little pro tip. I just learned that just over the years of watching dogs. And now I can diagnose the unsocialized dog by where they smell another dog. All right, now it's time for the audio. Here's the deal. You ready? Your dog, this is not an indictment on you by any means. Your dog simply, in my expert opinion, needs more enjoyment in his life. He does not have a people aggression issue. He does not have a dog aggression issue. His people aggression is going to be fixed by playing with dogs. That's what I think, which is awesome. Because the other thing is, you're giving him correction, you're putting him to sit here, we're having people walk over, we're having people treat, we're doing all this stuff. Your dog is an awesome dog that does these little freakouts at people and does these weird things, I believe, because your dog does not get to do this enough. For obvious reasons, you are like, I don't know how he's with dogs. I got to hold him back from people. Your dog, I think he just needs to be more a well-balanced dog, and I believe all that people stuff is like gonna totally melt away. And that is good news. You might think what I just said is common knowledge, or you're like, oh yeah, I knew that. You probably didn't. The truth is, like, some big picture answer like that is not the general go-to answer. And I truly believe what I said. I'm going to say it again in a minute on some more audio. I'm going to say it in a different way, but I'm going to say it again. Oh, here he's playing. And I love when the dogs fall in the water, like he just walks off the edge and then falls in. Because one, it's warm, and two, it's just good for them to experience unique things in their life. All dogs, and especially dogs that are under socialized. So what I said, it was giant picture, and I truly believe it. He needs to play with dogs and everything else is going to melt away. Look how much this dog loves dogs. He loves them. He loves being physical with them. He loves chasing them. He loves getting chased. He loves everything about it. Imagine there's a huge chunk of your life, of happiness in your life that you're missing. You love to do something with all your heart. It's the greatest thing in the world to you, and you just don't get to do it. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to lash out at people. Things are going to happen. And then you get to do that thing and you become so much happier that you don't want to be mean to people or you whatever. You get what I'm saying. I believe dogs to this dog is that missing piece. And because his aggression, if we want to call it that, the lunging at me, the nipping at people, because it's so minor, I think it can be fixed with simply playing with dogs. Now, how does she do that? That's a different question. How do you do that? That's hard. I always talk to people about neighbor dogs, family dogs, dog parks. Oh, Joel, we hate dog parks. Okay, fine, don't go. That's just a place where there's dogs. There's not great dogs there all the time, but there are dogs there. So he's playing with dogs, loves it more than anything in the world. I think aggression, reactivity is going to melt away if she just does this on a consistent basis. So what happens next is we're going to loves Prince. We go in the office. I leave my mic on unintentionally, but I think I say some good things to her in the office. So we're going to cut while we're seeing him play and do his thing. We're going to cut to my audio and how I'm going to reframe and kind of say the same thing to make sure that she really understands what I'm trying to tell her. We need a plan for your dog to have fun in his life.
Yes.
And I believe we're going to fix 80% of his aggression by doing that.
Okay.
That's what I think. And then we can get into, in another session, I don't want to do a lot of sessions. Okay. We can get into what to do when he freaks out. I don't think it's rocket science, but it's kind of hard. If he ever does that to another person, what he did up there, you're going to pop him. You're going to pop. You're going to tell him, sit down, stay. Then you go shake the person's hand. Let him know that you've invited this person into your life while he is sitting out in the back. And he's like, oh my God. Like, I didn't mean to. I didn't know you didn't want me to. Now I'm on the outside looking in. It takes skill, but it's not rocket science either.
Yeah, it's just practice.
So when he lunges and then you sit him right next to you or he gets in front of you, which he only did 10 feet down. Like once he freaked out, you kind of put him on the side of you. But then when you came down, he mean mugged me and growled at me. Then he came and sat in front of you on your feet.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Get your butt in behind.
Yeah.
I am the boss, and I've accepted Joel into my life. No sitting in front of me and growling. And if he's in front of you and he growls at a person, you move and you go, get over here. Sit down. Stay. You can't growl at my friend. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Please comment, like. You can unsubscribe anytime you would like. Thanks, guys. Hope you learned something.